Hello, this is Fringe Festival Support. We're a community spirit programme aiming to bring performers and workers together at the Edinburgh Festival to try and talk to each other more about how they're doing for the benefit of boosting mental health throughout the Fringe. It's a survival guide. This is Fringe Festival Support. Hello there, welcome back again. If you'd like to get in touch with us, we're going to put the information right here for you. You can tweet at us, you can go on our Facebook, you can go on our website, which is pretty swanky, and you can go on our GoFundMe page and send us some money to try and fund this, because we are completely self-funded, and it costs us a bomb. We are here today with Dan Soder and Mickey Overman. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
This is great. I like the way Mickey and I are dressed. We look like a couple that does an artistic show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you're shifting set.
Yeah,
All
come
in
see us in moving shapes.
Mickey, is this your first Fringe? You've been here before?
No, this is my third, but my second solo show.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like this is now just a tradition.
Nice.
That's really hard. Huh?
Just like family holidays.
It's like but harder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're originally from Amsterdam?
Yeah, you got it.
I always get mixed up Holland and then I want to say Netherlands and then I can never remember which one you don't like.
Oh, okay. Well, Netherlands is right,
Okay.
and Holland is
A
wrong.
region of the Netherlands?
Yeah, it's really boring. Yeah, I
Cool.
can tell.
Welcome to geography at the Edinburgh Fringe.
I was
I-
actually I was pretty jacked to learn about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I can tell you what it is. So it's two provinces. So it's North Holland and South Holland. But we use it as a colloquialism for the entirety of the Netherlands, because in the past, before it was the Kingdom of the Netherlands, it was the Republic of Holland.
Cool. It's all double Dutch to me.
Netherlands.
Yes.
I'm just calling it Netherlands.
Yeah, you nailed it.
And then via Canada.
Yeah, and then I lived in Canada for a while, which is where I picked up this accent, and then I moved here.
Cool. To Edinburgh?
To
the UK?
London. Sorry.
Yeah.
Here to the UK.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Dan, you're from Colorado.
I am from Denver, Colorado, and then I live in New York City,
Right.
and I'm here for the month.
So you're part of the Coastal Elite now. Do you have your membership card?
I am. People in the middle of the country just don't know how to vote. They don't know how to think. They don't know how to do anything. I'm just sick. Read the New York Times. Get on Twitter. I'm sick of it. Yeah.
And
No, I still got my red-blooded Middle American love of people,
Sweet.
a love of nature.
And first time in Scotland? First time in Edinburgh?
First time in Edinburgh. First time in Scotland. First time at the Fringe.
First time in this weather?
No. My family's from San Francisco, so I know all about
okay.
this weather. I love this weather. The weather was a really deciding factor in me coming. The Fringe is great, but the weather's why I came here.
Wait, is this similar to San Francisco?
Yeah, it's kind of got a very foggy, rainy, and then like it gets warm in the afternoon, and then it gets cold at night.
I don't know anything.
It's like Melbourne as well. It changes on
Yeah.
the time. It's
Go to San Francisco. It's great.
I would love to.
Yeah, I think Mark Twain said the coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco.
Really?
Yeah, it gets real chilly in the mornings and at night, but in the day it's California.
The problem with Edinburgh is, like, especially for performers and workers, and particularly flyers and stuff, is like you get up in the morning, you look out the window, and you go, right, I need to take like 3 different sets of clothes.
Yeah.
Because it's going to rain, and then it's going to look like it's going to be really sunny, and I take the sunglasses off, and then it's just a constant wardrobe change.
It's the most I've ever gone from being cold to sweating instantly. Just walking inside and be like, why am I sweating so much? And yeah, it's a good clammy feeling.
You have to especially be careful. On Sunday, we went home in the afternoon, we came back out in the evening to see a show and got absolutely drenched with rain, sat in very cold auditorium for an hour and watched a show, and then walked back in the driving rain. And
Is that how you guys do population control here?
yeah, pretty much.
You just get people really sick and then you're like, good luck, go fight that off.
I feel like my clothes haven't dried since I've been here.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perpetually damp.
It's pretty interesting. And by interesting, I mean very uncomfortable.
Yeah. I thought people in the States hated the Edinburgh Fringe.
Is that
Like
what?
comics from the States.
Is that really? Is that the? No, I was actually given glowing reviews on the Fringe by Ari
really?
Shafir, a couple other comics that were like Michelle Wolf. There were a couple people that were like, "It's great. You just do a show every night. People are great. You'll have fun."
Oh, I guess I've just been listening to like a podcast where a comic from the States.
Oh, yeah.
I hate it. And then
I
was
hate it,
like,
yeah.
all comics from the States.
Yeah.
That is fact.
That's usually how the States works. One loud voice makes us seem like we're all behind that.
It's like female comedy. It's
Yeah.
like, she speaks for all of us.
Yeah. You're like, well, there's a variation, and yeah. No, I think there's a lot of comics that, my flatmate this year is Sean Patton, and he's doing the Fringe again, and he loves it. And he was the one that's like, dude, it's a great time. You'll have a great, and I'm having a great time.
He's coming on the show next week.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. So you better go home and tell him.
Sean,
If he doesn't
make
turn
me
up,
look stupid.
if he
Say
doesn't,
you had a great time.
if he
Say
now
you know
doesn't
me
turn
at
up,
least.
Yeah.
I know what happened.
Yeah.
I know exactly what happened.
I go
if he
home
doesn't
and I go, dude, here's the brief. You got to say you love Fringe. They're on to us. They know American comics hate this festival, and we got to do a real good job because some of us are trying to leave the country.
Yeah, you're looking into like Scottish heritage.
I would love to live here. I will just retire to some nice little cottage up north. I would love to live in Scotland. No?
You live in New York City. You don't want to live in Scotland.
Yeah, but right now, New York, you do this thing where you're like, I hate you, New York. You're the dumbest. And then you leave and you come back and you go, my city. That's just kind of what you have to do every time. You have to be like, nah, New York's stupid. And you come back, you're like, I missed the trains.
Yeah.
No,
Okay, I got you.
I am excited to go. There is a part of me that is excited to go home, but I'm having a great time at Fringe.
Are you seeing shows?
Yeah. Gone out and seen a couple shows. I need to go see more. I put a list together. I'm kind of in a weird place where I didn't know how it was going to affect me doing a show. I don't know how that is for you, but like when you're doing a show, you kind of want to get in the headspace.
Yeah.
So it's easier for me to see shows after my show.
Yeah.
Because then I'm kind of, the adrenaline's down, and I think if I go see a show before mine, I'm like,
Yeah.
did I sell any tickets? Do I suck? Do these people hate me? Why aren't there any stars on my poster? Should I quit comedy?
Is this person better than me?
Yeah.
That's one of the ones.
Should I cry in my show? I think I should cry in my show. Maybe I'll cry in my show.
Yeah.
Are you seeing a lot of stuff?
I am, but I'm later in the day, so I'm in the evening, so it's like if I don't see anything, then I just won't see anything before my show. But I've been, yeah. But I feel like I didn't do that the first year, and then the second year I did it a little bit more, and then this year I feel a little bit more settled. So I feel like I can actually go out and see stuff without it ruining my day or my show or my state of mind.
It is intimidating when you see other performers that are super into seeing shows and you feel like you're not doing your homework.
Well, the comparison thing here is just so impossible. Like, you compare yourself to people constantly, like you were just saying with the stars on the poster, but also just, like with people being super supportive. You think, oh, I'm not being supportive enough. I should be more supportive. But it's just whatever it is for you, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why we're here. It's like, I think people, especially inexperienced people who are coming up for the first couple of times, it's like there is that pressure to like, oh, I'm here and there's 3,800 shows and I have to see all of them.
Sure.
Otherwise, I'm not like.
And you have to be out all
best.
night and you have to do all of these things.
Yeah, and then I have to start drinking until 5 a.m. and then be up at 10 to see the kids' shows in the morning because I don't want to miss anything.
Comedy Club for Kids, can't miss it.
It's that fear of
Haven't missed one yet.
it's that fear of
There
missing
every
out.
day.
And then that kind of messes with your routine, and it's a very delicate balance of like self-care and and doing enough that you kind of, and everybody's different. Everybody finds different ways of doing it.
Yeah, I feel that I definitely need a nap every day.
I was gonna say right now.
I'll do it. You think I won't take a nap right now? I can nap right here, right now.
Could you actually? Are you a good sleeper?
Unbelievable at napping.
That's
Not a
tough.
good sleeper. I'm not a good. You give me 9 hours, I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna toss and turn.
Right.
You give me 20.
Nailing it.
Unbelievable. I can nap in 20 minutes.
Also, the best way to nap is when you just about to drift off that moment, then you wake up.
Yeah,
Like you don't actually go to nap. That's like it's like a reset.
I find that's fine. Our producer doesn't like to be on the camera, so he does like really elaborate things to get around the table if he needs to change stuff.
Ah,
We
right.
have no idea what he's doing under there.
Sure.
It's fantastic. He's been there all
But
week.
he's very subtle.
Yeah.
He doesn't go home. He's here all day, just like moving around. He's here. Yeah, there he goes. There he goes. He won't be caught.
Napping's been a big part of my Fringe.
That's good.
Yeah. This is, by the way, I will say, Edinburgh, perfect napping weather.
It is perfect napping weather.
With the window open, a little cloudy in the afternoon. Come on.
We've had people on who've actually managed to find in their venues like secret spots where you can actually nap, like at selected times in the day. I know there was one person who managed to find like a room that that wasn't being used for the Fringe on like the top floor of their venue, and they just go up there for a 20-minute nap. Would they tell us where it was? Of course they would not.
No, because that
No,
keeps
keep
the
your
whole.
secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to keep some of it.
You have
in.
to keep some of it for
I
yourself.
mean, we encourage people to share tips and stuff, but you know there are limits on what you, because otherwise everyone will be there.
Yeah, they'll just be people napping.
Yeah.
Oh man, you know how angry you would be if you had a secret nap room and you showed up and someone was napping in your secret nap room?
I think it would feel like a violation.
It would. You'd be like, get out of here.
This is my womb.
This is where I sleep.
On the other hand, we've had people reveal their secret cry spots, like where they can go and just have a little weep.
Oh, that's
I'll tell you where
nice.
mine is, the shower in my flat. Just walk in there and look at that cry structure.
I feel like it's like such a manly place to have a cry.
Yeah, you
It's
put
like-
your hand on the
Yeah.
shower like a detective, and
Yeah,
you let the
yeah.
water run down your back. And
No,
you're like,
and yeah,
it's like a
right
lot of
down
that
your-
crying.
It's like right
Yeah.
down your face, and you don't
Yeah,
even
but
you
it's
don't
all
even wipe it off.
it all comes down, and then your roommate just hears you going,
Yeah.
and that's how I cry.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And then you towel off, and it looks like you just got out of the shower.
Yeah.
What? No, I was doing a act out.
Yeah.
I'm doing a new.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not knocking on
I'm
that
doing a
bathroom door to
scene.
find out what that sound effect
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it's just a lot of heavy weeping.
Yeah.
I cry anywhere.
Really?
My friend always encourages me to cry in front of the mirror. She's very dramatic, and she's always like, if you're gonna cry, then at least like make it like a big thing where you're like looking at yourself, going, God, I'm really crying. I haven't done that yet.
That's a lot. Because I feel like
Yeah, but she's very
just
dramatic.
as a comedian, you're like, I would start crying and look at myself and be like, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
I'd immediately be like,
Yeah, but
stop.
she would love that. She's
Oh,
like,
dramatic people are like, look at that.
look at you emoting.
Oh, it makes me cry because it's so beautiful. It's like a different kind of cry.
If you're gonna cry, do it in your show. It's like that's an
Oh.
extra star.
That's, yeah, you
Look
get
at your-
6 stars.
Look at your depth.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Can't do it.
Are you good with like self-care? Do you look after yourself and keep yourself in a good mental spot?
I think so, but I've lucked out this year because a lot of the people in my flat are not drinking. So there's way less like staying out late, and there's a lot more. And also this year I decided to, or me and my friend, we decided to get puzzles for the
Ooh,
flat.
Nice.
okay.
It's the best.
Yeah, because it's a good way to talk
It's
while
so,
you're doing something.
It's so great.
You're doing jigsaws and
Yeah, just like going to charity shops and getting like 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. I'm on my 3rd.
Hey,
Thank
what have
you.
you made so far?
Okay, well, this is very exciting. I made a dolphin, like jumping
Yeah,
Yeah.
is that word.
yeah.
And then I made Amsterdam at dusk. My friend got that one for me. She found it at a charity shop. She was very excited. She was like, this is for you because you're from there. And then now I'm working on a country scene.
Ooh,
nice.
that's even nicer.
Which country?
I'm guessing
Well, you don't know yet.
this one.
Find
Yeah.
out. Find
Well,
out.
no,
later
I
on.
can see the picture on the box.
No spoilers.
Oh, no spiders, okay.
There's a run of charity shops on South Side as you come up, just past the big theatre there, and there's like 7 in a row, and it's absolutely an invaluable resource for performers because it's like if you want costume, props, stuff for the flat, like board games, DVDs to watch,
Yeah,
like all dirt cheap.
that's
all,
great.
All going to charity. That's a new.
Yeah, and
plug
at the
for
end,
me.
you just give it back.
I've plugged a bunch of stuff before, but that's the first time I've plugged that. But yeah, it's like there's a run. I mean, if you're watching this, you can't see where I'm pointing. You've no
Yeah.
idea. But you'll
Just look it up.
Yeah, you'll find it. It's just off Nicholson Square.
There you go. Look at that. Now you got a place to plug in your Google Maps.
What do you mean, like Nicholson Street, South Clark Street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
they're good.
And there's
I
like
got some puzzles there.
I
Oh, yeah.
I like
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah.
like your puzzle knowledge.
I'm
of where to
a
go.
veteran of
Yeah.
these shops.
You're like you're a puzzle miner. You know where to go for all the good puzzles.
Have you found what sort of places are you hanging at? Not so that people can come find you, but do you have like
My
favorite places?
Yeah, well, we always like for later at night. We always like just the main part of the dome, just because it's quite quiet and it's not like industry heavy. It's
Yeah.
just like normal.
That's great.
It's just like performers,
Yeah.
which is really nice. And then, yeah, it's not like people looking over their shoulder, like if there's someone better to talk to, which is,
Oh.
Yeah.
you know, it's such a. I feel like it's such a main part of the Fringe. It's just like feeling like you're not interesting enough.
No, it's crazy.
It's so crazy. And so that one I like. And then the rest of it is just kind of, yeah, at home. But yeah, for being out, I would say that one is just the nicest.
Good mix of private time.
And also, like, we're staying in Marchmont, so that's just over the Meadows, which is
That's where I'm staying.
Yeah, it's so nice. It's perfect. There's like some coffee shops there where you actually still have locals who haven't fled.
Yeah.
Redbox.
Yeah,
That's right.
Redbox.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's where this
actually,
is from.
I saw your coffee cup.
We stayed right opposite Redbox last year.
Yeah, it's great. I love that
It's so
neighborhood.
nice. It's so nice. It's perfect because then also you have that walk home.
And
There's-
it's uphill, and it feels like almost you're leaving the bubble.
Yeah.
Like, you're leaving that. Like once you cross the Meadows, it's like this is just like a normal place.
And in reverse, it feels kind of good because it feels like you're trotting to your show.
Yeah,
When you're going
you're coming
downhill,
in
you're
it.
like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
more,
yeah.
you're just like motivated.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I'm walking down a hill. That's why I'm walking like that. I don't normally walk.
Is your downhill walk?
Yeah, that's
it's famous.
that's a good downhill walk,
It's
I feel.
famous.
Yeah.
It's
That's how you
famous.
keep
That's
your
Olympics.
shoulders,
That's Olympic standard.
keep it moving. Get a lot of elbow into it.
So have you been spending some time on the Meadows?
Yeah, I don't drink, so I get pretty annoyed quickly with bars because I
Okay.
used to drink, and so I'll be there. I usually last about 20 to 30 minutes, and if I'm with friends, it's great. I try to stay in the conversation, but then eventually they're like, "Well, I'm gonna leave," because when you start seeing people get hammered, you're like, "There's no reason for me
It's
to have this
boring.
conversation."
There's a point where it's entertaining, and then it drops
Yeah.
off into like, oh, this is just.
And then you have the same conversation with the person twice, and you're like, I'm gonna get out of here. It's like I think I'm gonna leave. So it's nice, and it's such a beautiful walk home through the Meadows, and yeah,
Yeah, it's good to find like headspace. It's very.
I like putting in my earbuds and listening to music on that walk home. I think it's a great, it's a pretty. I love the architecture here in Edinburgh, and it's like it reminds me actually of San Francisco, the architecture, the way with the bay windows and stuff. It just looks like taller San Francisco buildings. So it's fun to like kind of walk home and you're like, man,
But it's like the opposite of the grid system in terms of San Francisco.
Oh,
Because
it's- yeah.
like you lose yourself just going down like one alley.
yeah,
Like,
we
it's-
hiked up to Arthur's Seat yesterday and like kind of looking how the city's laid out. You're like, whoa, this is not a grid.
No, it's just a hodgepodge.
It's just like everything moves like that. And I'm used to New York where you're just like 23rd down to 3rd and then up to 26th. And you're like, I know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah, I know numbers.
Yeah,
They ascend.
That's
if
the
I go north.
simplicity of being an American. They really feed you where to go.
Did you did the full climb to Arthur's Seat? You went right to
No,
the top?
the people I were with wanted to do the half climb, so I'm going back on Monday to do the full climb.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I
And
was.
it's really not that long.
I'm from Colorado,
Yeah.
and they kept just saying that. They're like, "You're from Colorado." It's like, no, you're just lazy.
Yeah.
I want to hike up the top of Arthur's Seat.
A friend of mine said, "Do I need like special equipment?"
What
Or,
are you?
like-
Are you crazy? That's what they said. They said I didn't bring provisions. They're like, you didn't bring provisions. You're like, I have a bottle of water. What else do you need?
It's 20 minutes to the
Yeah,
top.
it's-
You could do
nothing.
that in heels.
You can do it. You can.
Yeah.
Do it.
Now there's a Fringe show. Arthur's Seat and Heels.
Just in heels.
There,
I
there
feel
have
like
been
you could.
there've been shows at the top of Arthur's Seat.
I heard they do one every day.
I don't know if there's one this year, but
Okay.
I haven't come across that. But yeah,
You know,
certainly.
Someone I know was like, yeah, they do a show up there every day. I'm like, that seems like a lot.
Of climbing.
Yeah. Those
Yeah. How fit will you be at the end?
People, oh, the calf muscles.
Yeah,
on
the
those
calf
people.
muscles.
Got to be
Oh,
insane.
man. Yeah, the first time I did Arthur's Seat, and I did like the, well, I'll just go from here, like from the south side, that'll
Yeah.
be fine. And it's like, that's like the hardest
Oh, where it
way
just
up.
yeah, it zigs up as
And
opposed
yeah,
to going the back way up.
Calves just burning
Yeah.
for days. No, taxi is how you do it.
I might do that
Ruin-
tomorrow.
It spoils the point. If people don't quite fancy doing the Arthur's Seat thing, then we did the Salisbury Crags this year. So instead of going sort of right and going up to the top part of it, you can go around the left and like it just kind of goes much more gentle
Oh, okay.
upwards, and you still get the view. Or is it Cabot Hill?
I think that's the one we did yesterday.
Okay,
Yeah, that's the half, sort of not as high as Arthur's Seat one.
right.
Yeah.
But there were loads of people up there,
Yeah, a lot of people.
and the crags actually were really quiet. And
Yeah.
just only a few
I
people.
was enjoying the seagulls. You have very
Oh,
active
yeah.
seagulls in this city.
You almost forget that you're so close to the ocean.
Yeah, until you hear one of them going,
Yeah.
ah, and the weird laughs that they have here.
We've got not to show off about our apartment, but we've got a little fire, and it's got a chimney that goes presumably like right to the roof. And the other day we were sat there and we just heard this and it's like, oh my god, there is a seagull in here, and it's not. It's one on the top of the chimney, like just speaking down to us.
Great.
You know how like prisoners talk to each other
I
in
love
American
it.
prisons through
Yeah,
the toilets?
through the toilets.
Yeah, it's the same thing. The seagull's trying to tell us something. We've
I
no
love
clue
it.
what it is.
I love that bird was smart enough to be like, let me wake up some people. We'll wake up some people by talking through their chimney.
So one of my bugbear questions, because I think it is one of the biggest pressures, how do you deal with feedback, be that audience or reviews, if we dare mention them?
Sure. I try not to read them, and I feel like that's a very personal thing for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's fine, like either way. I try not to read them, and then, but this year, they've started tagging you on Twitter, if in reviews,
Yeah.
and you're kind of like, oh, with that, I don't want
What are you
that.
doing?
I don't
It's
want
so weird.
It's so weird.
We've had that. I mean, if it's like a glowing, like 5-star, I saw this show and it's great, I could see why somebody would go, yeah, I want
Sure.
to tag that person in so that they know that I thought it
Yeah.
was great.
But if
Like,
they're
I'm-
dogging you, that's a weird thing. That's like you walking by and someone was like, I was just talking shit to this person about you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Come here. And you're like, no, I was going.
It's
what?
very strange. Well, I got the one that I saw was 3 stars, which was fine, but it's sort of the thing of like, I just don't want to know,
Yeah.
asshole. And I also think it's, for me, it's like it changes. I don't read them because I'm worried it will change the show. Because I wrote the show the way I like it, and then if someone else is going to come in and be like, well, that bit doesn't really work, you're kind of, it would influence
Yeah.
Sure.
the show. You'd be like, oh, maybe I should cut it.
Sure.
And you wouldn't think that like 95% of the audience actually really went for it.
Exactly.
Because it's that small percentage.
Exactly.
Like it's that minority opinion that makes you think, maybe
Yeah.
I should pay attention to that. It's like, no, if everyone's having a good time, let's just.
Yeah.
let's
But then
just-
but then I also know that my friend, she finds it really difficult not knowing. So she's just like, I'd rather just know.
Yeah.
I'd rather just know.
There's some
Fair
people
enough.
that just can know and then deal with it, and then there's people like us where I'm like, don't tell me.
Don't tell me, I don't
I've
want to
told
know.
all my reps, I've told anybody that the promoters, I'm like,
Yeah.
if you see a review, don't let me read it because it'll affect me, and I'm here for a specific reason, is to run this hour.
Yeah.
And to work on this hour and then go back to the States, and I'm filming it in October. So it's like,
Oh, wicked.
I don't want that DNA to change just because someone was like, it's just American stand-up. And you're like, yeah, that's why I'm here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
like, I
yeah.
never promised anything else. I had like a weird thing with that where one of the people doing publicity was like, this is just stand-up. And you're like, what did you think I did? Did you think I did something else? Did you think I was a juggler? Like, that's what
Yeah.
I'm avoiding all. I'm going to read the
review.
reviews on my radio show when I get back to the States because that's just fun.
Yeah.
Then I get paid to feel bad. So I might as well make fun of it,
Yeah.
you know?
A lot of people have said that, read the reviews in September. Like,
Yeah.
once you're done, read them, take the bits that you think
Sure.
are valid, but you've still got that feeling of like, I got through that month and I was very happy with what I was doing.
And I also think the Edinburgh Fringe shows, it's a very specific thing almost, a thing that does really well.
Sure.
And it's maybe not at all what you want to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a really...
Yeah, God bless the people that want to, I totally understand people, trying to get the prize or trying to get, like top reviews, and that's great. Personally, I just want people to show up to watch me do my hour, and I hope they enjoy it. And the feedback has been great from the audiences. I've been loving the audiences, which is something I heard negatively from American comics, where they were like, "Oh, you're not gonna kill the way you kill in the United States. Like, you're not gonna do as well as you do here." And then I came here and I was like, the first night, I was just like, don't talk to the crowd, just do your jokes. This is the Fringe Festival, you can't react. And then by the night 2, I'm like, oh, I'm just doing comedy here.
Yeah.
So then it's been a blast. I've had so much fun. And yeah, there is a little worry when you're kind of farting around on stage, having fun in a specific moment that probably won't happen again. You're kind of like, if there's a reviewer here, fuck them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know that's not what I maybe hopefully edit it out, but you really do have that feeling of like, well, I'm just doing my act now. And I hope they enjoy it. I don't want them to dislike it.
Yeah.
I want them to like it, but I'm not gonna change who I am for a star. If being who I am is a 2-star review as opposed to changing it for a 5-star, I'm not gonna change that.
Yeah.
God bless anyone that's going after that. But
I was going to say, I mean, like, so on this show, we have a lot of performers on, but we haven't actually had any on last year we had some journalists on as well, some critics. And you say fuck them, and I think that's an attitude for yourself.
oh,
like,
that is so
yeah.
self-preservation. I don't have anything personal against that. I don't really care. It's like, but that is for me. If I don't say that, it'll seep in.
Yeah.
And I'll tailspin.
Yeah.
And I don't want to tailspin with 2 weeks left in the
Like,
Fringe.
one critic's opinion is, the same as like anybody else who's seen the show. It's
Absolutely. And it's like anyone's opinion, it's valid.
Sure.
But it's just what we're saying, like, just not.
We don't need it.
We don't
Our
need to-
machines
need
don't
to
work
know.
off
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And listen, I think there are people that are probably find that kind of criticism incredibly valuable and encouraging and useful for their show, where they're kind of like, maybe I do need to change that. And I might feel that way when I read it in September. However, in the you know, in the cloudy streets of Edinburgh, I will not be taking that advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be reading that in an apartment in Queens, New York, screaming into a pillow if I don't like the review.
And again, that's part of your self-care routine. It's like,
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely, because it's, you know, as Mickey was saying, it's hard. It's like a tradition now for Mickey that's difficult, but this is a difficult thing to come and do a month of shows, day by day by day by day. It's taxing, and it's like, and I'm on the road in the States probably 35 to 40 weeks a year, so I'm not unfamiliar with being in a different place and doing my show. However, it's 5 shows in 3 days, and then you're back home by Sunday. So you have that refreshing kind of like coming up for air.
Yeah.
And here you're just in it. You're in it until the 27th, and then you leave.
but luckily, I mean, you're both staying with people. You're staying with other performers.
Yeah,
And that's like a support network.
they're amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, it's like a little family, and it's been the same group now for the last 3 years.
Oh, that's even better.
And so we all know each other very well, and like we know that we work together as a group, and it's perfect. Like I'm lucky. I hear some group situations, and I'm like, oh yikes.
Yeah, I feel very lucky too. I came in and I'm living with a couple, and then a guy I really have only met kind of briefly when I've been in Los Angeles for for short periods of time. So I didn't really know how he and I were going to get along, but I knew the couple very well, and it's just mashed together perfectly. Where it's like a family. You just kind of like, you get excited when they show up at night because you're like, hey, how was your
How was your show? How did it go?
And we have like little, apartment things where we're like, oh, let's go to this today as a group. Or
That's nice.
yeah.
do you spend much time talking to people outside of the Fringe?
No.
I think I can't speak for you, but I think just for myself, you're just around. You go from your show to where performers are, to another place where performers are, and it's maybe performers that you don't know, so you're meeting. So to get people outside of the Fringe is, I don't know, my experience, pretty difficult to talk to.
Yeah, and I also feel like I will be weird. Like I feel like I'll talk to my family again in September. I'll be less weird about things.
Do they understand like what it is that you're doing?
Yeah, they do, but I mean, on a theoretical level, I guess it's like. But my sister tried to bring up reviews. Actually, she was like, "Oh," she was saying something about it, and I was like, "Oh my god, no."
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
I've had friends in the States that are comics that are just calling me, being like, "Why can't you talk?" And you're like,
It's all right. It's Wednesday. It's 11 o'clock.
which means it's time to call an American.
It's the gunge tank.
Yeah.
It'll be.
There it is.
There we go.
I said it.
That's so funny.
That really did feel like you'd be like, and that's time's up.
Yeah.
That'd be great if that's
It
how
was
you-
worse last week when we didn't realize that it was going to happen, and then we
Yeah.
were like, how long before we actually just go, okay? And we
Yeah.
thought, is this going to be great TV? There's going to be a fire. It's going
Just
to be
sit
like,
through
it's
it.
going to be great
Just
drama.
Sit through it.
Are you using any of the Fringe Central things that are available? Do you know about the Fringe Central things that are available?
I don't.
So we feel like, seeing as they're hosting us, and last year we spent a lot of time plugging it, because as we learned like what people need to get through the festival, we found that it is all available at Fringe Central for participants. So when you pay like to get in the brochure and you pay your entrance fee, you get access to all of these things. So there's a whole events program with like mental health things, marketing seminars, and like PR seminars, making the most of your Fringe. If you've not got one of these, get hold of one of these and come to some of these events, because they're really super interesting. Like if you're doing theatre or comedy and you want to know about touring afterwards, there's seminars for that. They get all sorts of experts in. So I'll give them a plug. Why not? It's all useful stuff. They also have computers and staplers and guillotines, so you can print
That
out
one I knew.
stuff. That's what I'd only used it for previously. But you can also have like
But that's
one-to-one
still
meetings.
great.
They
Yeah.
have like arts professionals that will like have one-to-one meetings with you and tell you what you're doing.
Go over your reviews with you.
Wow, amazing.
Like, what did you think they meant by that?
I think they try and avoid that one. But,
Yeah.
so what are you looking forward to? You're just going to carry on plugging on with your shows?
Well, I'm going to go on holiday. I've not done that the last 2 years, like after the Fringe, I've always found like a little bit of a, because when I'm here, I feel like it's going fine. It's
Sure.
going fine. And then by the end, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm way more tired and exhausted, mentally exhausted than I thought I was. So I've booked a holiday now.
Good. Where are you gonna go?
I'm going to go to Malta.
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Also, I fell down the other day in my show. Like I fell down some steps, and I was really worried. I broke my arm because it was quite a like severe fall, and I was so worried. All I could think was like, I just want to swim in Malta. Like that's all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Is that during the show?
Yeah. So there's like 2 little steps where I am, and sort of near the end of the show, I kind of run to get something like a prop. I'm using everything, and going all out.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it had been raining, so there was some water on the steps, and I slipped and fell on my back and my arm, and it was I couldn't even pretend that it was part of it. Like it was so clearly.
Yeah.
It was so clearly.
And you rebounded.
Well, adrenaline, right?
Yeah.
So I just finished the show, and then at the end, I couldn't tell if it was how bad it was because of the adrenaline.
Sure.
Like I thought I should get it checked because otherwise but it was all good in the end.
How far into the show were you?
So it's 3 minutes from the end.
Oh,
so it was
okay.
so no, it was like it was not halfway through. Like it was easy for me to be like I'm just gonna power through this till the end.
And then when the adrenaline dumps, you're like, oh, that really hurt.
Yeah, and
That
I had
really, really hurt.
like bruising everywhere and stuff, but it's whatever. Like nothing's broken. It's fine. Yeah. But yeah, I was really happy.
But Malta, now you can still swim.
Yeah.
That was my.
Come
You
on.
can't go to Malta and then
You can't go to
not
Malta.
swim. It's an
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
I got friends who say, like, this is my holiday. It's like, oh, you go to Edinburgh for like a month every year. That's your holiday, right?
Yeah, they're
It's like,
idiots.
you only work for like an hour a day or something.
I've heard from enough people that how exhausted you are when you come back that I've blocked off my calendar to where I have, I think, like 5 days where I come back to New York. I'm doing one benefit show for a friend who passed away. So I'm doing that on Thursday. So I come home on Tuesday and I'm not doing anything until, I want to say the following Tuesday. I'm going to do that one show, but I'm kind of excited to, instead of going on holiday, I'm on the road too much in the States that I was like, oh, my holiday will be at my house, enjoying my apartment in my neighborhood in Queens and like getting food that I miss and that kind of stuff and going to see movies. And
Are you managing to eat well while you're here?
I found a place that serves vegetables, so
Okay.
that's pretty cool. I've just been eating potatoes and meat.
Is that
for
Dundee?
It was a really nice restaurant that we went to last night as a family.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
flat
the flat
family.
family.
Called Ox 184.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice to the point where I was like, oh, this is, and they had a salmon dish that had a bunch of vegetables. So guess who's got his nutrients?
Yeah.
This guy, I've just been eating bangers and mash. But the food here I heard complaints about, but I like it.
No.
A lot of people still. I think a long time ago it was. You look at the stat. There was a lot of food trucks, and they were all like deep. You know, there was fish and chip shops with deep fried stuff, and the food trucks that are like just cheese and bread, basically. And you can still find those. But now there's all sorts of things. There's
It's great.
Fresh seafood and.
So you can make stuff.
Yes.
I don't know why people have they come to Edinburgh and all of a sudden they forget that they have an ability to make a sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got a flat. I mean, it might be that you have a flat that the landlord has described as 3 bedrooms, and one of them happens to have like a sink and an oven in it.
Sure.
That does happen occasionally.
Sure.
But most flats, they have cooking facilities.
They're
you can
so
do.
lovely.
I would probably say my kitchen is my favorite room in the flat. It's got a table and a couch in it.
Nice.
Lovely.
So it's just it's a lounge slash preparation area. Good table in there to put your laptop on.
We were saying the other day, really good self-help tip is to make sure that there's always something in your fridge when you leave the flat. Because otherwise you get out, you do a show, or you see something, and then you're on your way home and you're like, there's nothing there. So the only options at that point are kebabs and
chips.
I've just been enjoying the fact that there's not a lot of chemicals in the food here, which is an American. As an American, it takes you about a week to adjust to it. Where you're like, why does the milk taste different? You're like, no steroids.
Tastes like milk.
Got it. I'm actually getting calcium and not some weird science version of it.
Don't worry, we're working on that.
Yeah.
We've got a 5-year program.
Oh,
It's
good.
so weird though. Like when I lived in Canada, same thing. Just there's a certain they are not allowed to import cheese because of a certain bacteria. It all needs to be processed out. It tastes like nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's so
It's pretty
mental.
crazy. I mean,
You
guys,
have cows.
there's no fluoride in the water, so my teeth are hurting a little. But no, it is weird to see sugar in the sodas. It's actual sugar, so that's strange.
We're phasing that out as well.
Yeah, well, when high fructose corn syrup comes around, you
Yeah.
just know you're getting a whole dose of America.
Just a
right
whole
there.
bottle.
It is, yeah. But I also kind of miss it. There's also like this weird, because I'm so conditioned that I'm like,
You're nostalgic for
I want my chemical food. I want my science food.
Very processed cheese.
Are you guys good with the audiences? Like, are you enjoying good audiences? You mixed?
Actually, I was to your point about American audiences. I mean, the other day I had 6 Americans. It was a quiet audience, but I had 6 Americans, so it felt like a full room.
Yeah.
I mean, we can give them all sorts, but you're the best. You are the best. You're the best audience. They know
Oh man, let's isolate this and send it to every comedian that in America that says it. But it's really funny you say that, because I had an audience on a Tuesday. I think it was last Tuesday or maybe the first show. They were good. They were listening. They were definitely enjoying the show. But then 5 Americans came in and sat in the back, and then it just was like the show just started going, and I was like, oh man. Then after they're like, sorry we were late, and I was like, I mean, it's the most American thing you could have done. But then it was pretty crazy. And I've heard that Michelle Wolf, who's a good friend of mine, said that when she came back to the States, she was like, oh my God, oh my, like, stop guys, you're laughing too much.
You're holding me up.
Yeah, but what I think what's better about UK audiences is they listen.
Yeah,
they're listening.
They do listen.
Americans laugh loud, but they're not listening most of the time. They're just like, what? All right, I like that. And then they're back to their phones or their chicken wings or whatever.
He literally was on his phone.
Yeah.
He was very, he was on his phone, and I said, why are you on your phone? And he said, the show's great.
Yeah, and then you're like, well, thank you. I mean, you're being the rudest thing possible by looking at your phone. But I have noticed, I think, Americans that have a hard problem with the audience, they don't realize that the silences are actually respectful silences that UK audiences know how to listen to a piece.
Yeah.
Whereas I know a bad silence, and that's when people are talking to each other or interest has been lost.
Yeah.
So knowing that, it's actually helped me a lot with certain jokes that I'm trying to work out, where I was like, oh, you guys are listening, so we can take our time with this. Where it's not like, go, 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 the cheese fries are coming. Go, 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 get this joke in before they start eating. And so it's been, I love it. I love the audiences.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And you don't
I would agree with that.
Do you get anxious if you get a bad audience or like a quiet audience?
I just get embarrassed. And I know that's so silly, but I just find it so embarrassing. And I just go, gosh, I've worked on this all year, and I think it's good. I really do. And
Yeah.
they sit there and they go, no. I'm like, oh, lee.
And you've got to brush that off.
You just
You
want
just
everyone,
have to.
You want
Yeah.
everyone to have a good time. And so
Yeah.
when you feel like you're not having a good time, you're like, I'm sorry. This is just what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, in a weird way, it is like being a chef and you like cook something and someone's like, this doesn't taste good. And you're like, so many other people like that recipe.
Yeah.
That's kind of my recipe. And they really like that dish. And they're just like, doesn't do it for me. And you're like, no, I'm going to quit being a chef. This sucks.
And you know it's subjective and all that. And of course, logically, you can go, sure, that's fine. But
you find yourself comfortable like being able to do that?
I always remember that Sarah Millican, I heard it from her, that 11 o'clock thing. Like, you can worry about it from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m.
I love that.
I find it really helpful. Just this idea of like, sure, you get to think about it. So you get to think about it after sort of 11 p.m. as in like after the show, and then till the next morning you wake up, you're still thinking maybe about it, but by 11 a.m. you go, okay, that's done now. We've brushed that off.
That's a great piece of advice. Because also what's odd is you'll think you have a bad audience, or you'll think you maybe didn't connect, and then you'll get off stage and you'll leave your venue, and a couple people will be like, "That was amazing," and you're like, "What? We're in the same room together? I thought like I enjoyed the whole thing." And you're like,
yeah.
Okay.
I even had that yesterday. A girl came up and she said that was great, and I just thought, gosh, I'm being such an asshole. Like, she had a good time. Why am I being so down on? I like apologize to people as they walked out.
And I think that's exactly what Mickey's saying is how I feel on why I don't read the criticisms from the critics. It's like critics are professional at criticizing. Yeah. So I'm already hard enough on myself. So I don't need someone who's good at criticizing on top of the best person who's at criticizing me, which is me. Like I said, I had a friend come out last week, and I grew up with him, and he's a very intelligent, critical person. And in a WhatsApp text, I wrote, I don't need your criticisms. Whatever, we'll talk about the show later. I don't need you to sink me right now. Because I grew up with him, and he could be like, hey man, your left hand, you bring your left hand up too many times.
Oh,
And you're like,
yeah.
all right, well, no. Oh God. Now the
That's
show's
in my head now.
Now the show, every time I bring it, I'm like, nah. You know,
Just do the whole show.
yeah. They're like, I think his arm was injured. Was he having a heart attack?
That's interesting because like we just like putting these stories like out there so that everybody sees that everybody's different and they see that everybody deals with things in slightly different ways. I'm going to plug it again. These two books, which is a small book on mental health, which is sponsored by Calm, and the Anxiety-Free Fringe Guide, which you can pick up from Fringe Central, which have lots and lots of tips that might work for you or not on lots of different aspects. They're really useful to get hold of. You can also find information on the Mental Health Foundation website, which also has information if you're really, really struggling and need to talk to somebody. You can find someone to talk to through there. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. This has been
Thanks for
such
having
a
me.
pleasure.
Yeah, it's a great conversation.
I wish you all the very best with the rest of
Thank you.
Fringe. Got 2 weeks to go.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. We're over the halfway mark. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks from today, I'll be back in Queens, New York, eating an Andrew and Frank sandwich in real air conditioning.
Yikes.
America, worrying about mass shootings all the time.
We're all in this together. Nobody wins unless everybody wins.
Yes.
We'll see you again. Thanks for watching.